Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do that now. Tap the bell for notifications so you always know when we upload a new video or when we go live. Leave a comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Today, you have the ladies of the Fumble. We are here today to walk you through all the latest sports news. So I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Jackie.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jackie Ray. You can follow me everywhere at JRay the Fanatic.
Hey, guys. It's your girl, Britt Johnson. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson. Dodgers are headed to the World Series. Dodgers on today. I am so happy. This is one piece of good news I've gotten in my sports world this year. So I'm loving it. We just got to win now, but I'm loving it.
I know. I thought of you. I was like, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
I've had a rough year in sports, guys, so I needed some love.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the high point. I'm happy for you, Britt. Yeah. Congratulations. I like that you're wearing Dodger blue on your shirt today. Is it blue?
And it's funny because my Clippers lost in a 3-1 series and my Dodgers won in a 3-1 series because the Dodgers were down 3-1 and ended up winning. So, you know, it works out sometimes. Those game sevens, man.
Also, before we dive in, can I just ask you guys, do you feel like you're stretched out in your little square right now? Because I feel I'm stretched out.
I'm a little thicker. Yes. I'm looking a little thick today.
Yeah, you've got the thick gals of the Fumble today, apparently.
That's hilarious.
Here. When Chris is here, we look skinnier, guys.
Right.
I know. It's because Chris's beard takes up so much space, so you look thinner. Okay, you guys, let's jump into the first news. Ooh, now I'm looking slim. Oh God. Thanks, Leo. Always ready to just change things up at a moment's notice. Let's talk about Lakers, you guys. We have to talk about Derrick Rose and how he might become a Laker. So right now the Lakers need to make plans for the talent surrounding LeBron and AD. They have just 2 rotation players who are under the age of 26 in Kuzma and Caruso. They need more shooting. They need more playmaking, especially because Rondo and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope are expected to exercise their player options and become free agents. So apparently they have their eyes on Derrick Rose right now. One GM talked to Heavy and said, quote, about their plans earlier this year. They said, I don't think the Lakers wanted to make a major move because they thought they could do something on the buyout market. And I don't think the Pistons wanted to make a major move because Derrick was happy there. There was interest, but not too serious. Now everything has shifted a little. Now they're both in a position to where a deal is much more likely now. So Jackie, have to go to you first on this one. How do you feel about this Derrick Rose rumor? Do you think that this would be a good move?
So I really like Derrick Rose. I mean, we all know that he struggled with injuries throughout his career, and that's been what really kind of derailed his career. We all thought he was going to be the next coming of something great. Yeah, I think picking up Derrick Rose would be a great thing. I am just not on team follow the rumors too much because we do know that Rajon is testing the free agency. You know, obviously he'll probably get more money if he does go somewhere else, but I do think that the Lakers are going to try to make an attempt to get him. And then the first and foremost thing we have to do is figure out AD's contract, and that's going to take a little bit of time probably. And you might lose people in the interim, you know what I mean? But you have to do that first. So I am not anti Derrick Rose here in LA. I think that would be a great fit. I think he would fit it, just his personality, his work ethic, his determination. I think he would fit in great here. But I think we have something else we have to do first before I'm going to really jump on this rumor train too hard. And that is sign AD. And then after that, I'll ride with you. I'll get in the cockpit. I'll steer the train, but we got to sign AD first.
I'm with you on that one. Britt, do you think it's in his best interest to Pistons, or do you think he should move to LA?
I mean, I like what he's been doing where he's at, and just, I mean, watching his career and how much he's kind of moved around over the last few years, and then having that, like, I always think of it as another season, but it was just before the bubble time when he had that crazy, amazing game and, like, you know, had his career high in points, and he was crying after, and we all, like, cried with him in that moment and stuff. Right. So I been moving in a good direction. I just don't know if that's a good fit with the Lakers, just because he is, like you were talking about, they only have a couple guys that are young. Derrick Rose is like 32, 33 years old, so he's on the tail end of, his career too. And like Jackie said, he's been bombarded with injuries. If it's not his right knee, it's his ankle, it's his
right.
It keeps going back and forth every single time, and he hasn't had like a consistent playing through a whole season in a long, long time. And obviously we've all loved him. We all knew his potential. I think he'll have a couple more moments like he did this last year where he has like a big game and does great thing consistently day in and day out. He's not going to be able to be as effective for anybody. So I think, whatever he continues to do with his career, I think I'll continue watching him. He'll continue to be great. But as far as like a business move to like be a person that's going to help you win another championship, I don't see Derrick Rose being that guy, but he's obviously definitely, one of those guys that can come even off the bench and, do something great occasionally for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what happens with that one.
That Britt's absolutely right. It's like, as a business move, no, you're probably not going to go for it because of his injuries. But he's that guy. He's that guy that you want him to succeed. You want him to get over this hump. So I could see him appealing because, I don't know, he's just got that thing about him. And like, we've all been rooting for him. He's probably the one person that I can say, I don't know anybody who's ever talked trash about him.
Yeah.
Right. Not one person who doesn't like Derrick Rose. Everybody wants him to succeed. So definitely wish him all the best. But like, I'm with Britt. I don't know if it's a business move, and it's definitely not one you consider right now. You got other work to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely true. Very accurate. Okay, well, let's talk about the Lakers' LA rival, the Clippers. So last week, we talked about a report that came out that said, quote, Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams bristled when Kawhi Leonard was allowed to control his load management. The report also talked about how Kawhi kind of took advantage of his clout and his power on the team and chose to live in San Diego, which often made him late for team flights and meetings and all of that. And apparently other Clippers players were frustrated by that. But now Lou Will is calling out the reporter who claimed that there was this much tension between the teammates. He commented on a Bleacher Report picture of the quote and wrote, "Dog, I don't even know what bristle means. Where y'all get that from? Out your source." So he doesn't exactly deny this report. He doesn't deny that there really is some tension going on behind the scenes. He just claims to not know what bristle means and asked how they got the information. So maybe he doesn't want to give any life to the rumor mill, or he just wants to know who the snitch is. But Montrez also fired back. He posted that same Bleacher Report image and wrote, quote, "Man, y'all create anything for a story, huh?" But then there's another strange update to this whole thing. Lou unfollowed Trez on Instagram, so they might share an annoyance about this news story, but there seems to be maybe something going on between the two of them if you're the type of person to read into following and unfollowing, which we've talked about on some occasions here on the Fumble Squad. We do read into who follows and unfollows each other. A lot of people on Twitter were speculating that this is a sign that Trez is gone. So, Britt, I have to ask you, are you reading into this whole unfollowing thing? What do you take away from this latest update?
I definitely think it could mean Trez is gone. I've said before, Trez will probably be gone. He is a free agent, and if there is something to whatever's happening in the locker room or whatever, Trez is the one that like everybody needs to distance themselves from, because Lou Will is still on contract. He's still on contract. Patrick Beverley is still on contract. All of the other guys, quote unquote, involved, even Kawhi, they're all still on contract except for Trez. So if this is the situation, and obviously we know now who our head coach is, Ty Lue was in those locker rooms. He knows what was going on in those locker rooms. So if he suggested now to Lou Will or whatever, like, oh, we need to kind of separate ourselves from Trez a little bit because we're getting all this toxic energy that's happening in the media and whatever, this, that, and the third. And this is our team now, and Trez isn't going to be on our team moving forward. So this is a suggestion to possibly unfollow him. So I could see that like being a thing, because like I said, again, like I don't expect him to be on the team again. I love him as a player. I really do. But if it has been so much energy and negative stuff with it, with all those other guys that still are on contract and him not being on contract, moving forward, even though he is a great sixth man off the bench, we already do six man. Like, so we don't necessarily like, and we have a lot of guys that have been on our bench that are even third string, really young guys that have proven themselves in the bubble when they got opportunities opportunity to really be effective on the team. So I think that we just take Trez as an L and move forward without him. And so I could definitely see why possibly Lou will, and he probably it was a suggestion to unfollow him because he's still going to be on that team for.
Okay. And then Jackie, I want to ask you about how Lou and Trez fired back at this report. Do you think that they did that to save face, or do you believe that there really is this kind of tension behind the scenes and they're just trying to squash the rumors?
Oh, I always believe wherever there's smoke, there's fire. There hasn't been one time that I can recall where somebody said there was tension in the locker room and then the players came out and said, no, there wasn't. And then a little bit later we found out, yes, there was. So I don't at all believe that there wasn't some sort of tension in there. I do believe you draw more attention to it when you say something, because it's just like, my mom used to always say, methinks thee protest too much, which just means, when you all of a sudden barking at something that someone has said, it makes you look guilty instead of just being like, oh, it doesn't mean anything to me. Let me just move on. So I definitely think this is their way of trying to make us think that there was nothing going on, but we know better. So it didn't work. But yeah, I think they should have this should have been a say less moment for sure.
All right. Well, you guys, there's a lot up in the air right now for both the Lakers and the Clippers. But I guess if you're going to read into that following whole thing, like Britt said, then Trez might be gone. For those of you who are watching us live, let us know in the chat what you think is up with all of this drama. And then now we are having our very own Jackie take on the post-up. So Jackie, tell us what's coming up in social media.
All right, let me try the post-up with your girl, Jackie Ray. I think I even got the pause right. What? All right, here we go. So this is out today. We definitely miss him. I'm going to try to represent as best I can. This first one is definitely a fan favorite of mine because it's King James. I told you guys before, if it was me, I'd be rocking every championship piece of gear I could from now until forever. But let me cue you in with King James, the Larry O'Brien hardware, and the Lakers in Vegas. It is just something to see because this is exactly how I would walk in. I would walk in this exact same way, lights flashing, and do you see it? The slow walk. They're not even doing the slow motion walk on purpose. This is just how they walking in, like 2 miles an hour, so everybody sees you. I love this. It's kind of pretentious, but I still love it. I don't care. Get the lights in my booth. I'm walking in holding the hardware. Everybody's walking behind me. I love it. One of the things that I do, we've had a hard year. You guys know that. One of the things about Kobe passing that we learned, one of my favorite things was that he is a girl dad. I love that phrase because we've seen so many men kind of post how they feel about their dad or their daughters. And we know here Zuri and the LeBron relationship is one of our favorite, but Zuri made him put this trophy down and get back to the workout. And she's leading the workout. It's the cutest thing in the world. Her leading her dad. Leo, can we get that up there really quick? Do we have that video? There it is. And you can't hear her, but she's like, come on. Come on. It's so cute. He's over there on the little balancing, but Zuri's leading that workout. I love it. It's so cute. I love that little girl so much. Now, look, we also talked about this one last week. You guys said AD looked high. I said you were entirely wrong. But now he's on with JR in his live stream. And I don't know. Y'all might be on to something. It looks like I don't know. I'm gonna have to see what you guys think about this one. So now keep in mind, this is with JR. So anything's possible. It's just a live though. So Leo, can we throw that one up there?
Yo, get out the bed, bro.
It's over. I know since 5 in the morning.
Oh, man.
Champ life.
Champ life. I love it.
Champ life.
How is JR looking like the one that's the most alert, the most aware? I don't know. He did say
he's been drinking for a long time, so he knows how to recoup in the next. He has his Pedialyte sitting next to him with his aspirin. He knows how to get back in order.
But Britt, he said it was 5 in the morning. He just got it like
That's
that
how
when he's
I
like,
have
oh,
it
I'm
in the morning.
He just hasn't gone to sleep yet.
Oh, that okay. All right, that makes more sense because I was confused. I was like, what?
You guys, this is me at 5 a.m. When I wake up early, I'm so alert. I'm so great. Like, can talk about anything, write about anything. My mind is sharp. But if it's past 8 p.m., that's when I turn into like a puddle of goo in my brain. So maybe he's like
God,
me.
I am not like that.
They are a morning person. Like, I think he just didn't go to sleep yet.
Yeah, and AD is not high. It's 5. That's what I'm chalking that one up to. That would be me at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, bruh, why are you calling me? I would be so.
Even like a caller.
Oh yeah, no.
IG live at 5 a.m. Really?
Yeah, no, not even a thing for me. All right, so you guys, we've talked about this now that the NBA season is over. Some of you guys, even in the comments, are clapping on weird things like old stuff about Britt's Clippers. Y'all stay in the past too much, and it sucks. This time of year it sucks because now we'll get the GOAT debate for the millionth time. We get trade rumors like we just talked about earlier, and then we'll get stuff like this, stuff that doesn't make an ounce of sense. But since it's out here, let's just go. Between LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Zion Williamson, and Russell Westbrook, which one of these 4 players would be the best NFL player? Devin, I guess I'll start with you on this question.
Okay, I think it's gonna be. I think LeBron would be the best NFL player, but that's because we know he already played football. I don't know about these other guys if they played football or not, but he's a big guy. I think he would do the best. But if it's not going to be LeBron, then maybe Russell. Zion's too injury prone. Sorry.
True. Britt, what do you think?
Okay, I need to see the list again because I had to log out to double check my mic. So hopefully my mic is good.
Here it is.
Okay. Well, this would actually be a good question for Chris because he plays, Madden and stuff. And I know the brothers, all the Antetokounmpo brothers got added to Madden. So I don't know how they've been playing on there, but maybe Giannis might be good or LeBron James for sure. I don't see Russell Westbrook at all.
So I think they're a team. I think LeBron is at quarterback. You put Russell as a wide receiver. You make Zion the center, and then you go ahead and make Giannis a tight end. Boom, it's a team. That's what I think.
Got him to be a center. He can't be down there on his knees like that.
I'm trying to make him as stationary as possible. That was my thinking.
He's not going to get up. He's going to be stuck there.
Right. All right. I didn't think it through. Never mind.
Well, all right, you guys. Who do you think then on this list? Who do you think on this list would make the best NFL player?
I put him on the team. I made an NFL team, but I guess if I get to go with one guy, of course I'm going to go with LeBron. But I was like, let's make a team because it would never happen. So let's play some flag football and see if we can get a team together.
I think I would have LeBron at like tight end or something or a linebacker. LeBron would be a tight end or a linebacker to me.
I thought that too, but I saw him on his IG. He posted, or maybe it was SportsCenter. They posted him saying, "Give me my money," because he threw a football pass, and made a basket. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, no, he got that Russell Wilson accuracy. I'm putting him at quarterback. Yeah.
Target. For sure. But Zion, we've seen Zion throw some deep balls too. We've seen Zion on the beach throwing some deep balls.
I just don't think he's going to be able to scramble. Like, there's no scrambling with Zion.
No. His knees don't work anymore.
Plus, Zion will be good until he gets hurt.
Right. Which is why I kept him at center. I tried to keep him stationary, but y'all said that was a bad idea. So, all right, you guys, you might be excited to know that the Space Jam New Legacy that is out, the plot of it. I'm just have to read the whole thing. So here it is. It says, during a trip to the Warner Brothers studio, NBA superstar LeBron James and his son accidentally get trapped within a world that contains all of the Warner Brothers stories and characters under the control of a malfunctioning, all-powerful force named AIG, which is played by Don Cheadle. Now, I don't like this. This should have been played by Allen Iverson because it's in the name, but whatever. With the help of Bugs Bunny, LeBron James must navigate through the never-before imagined world filled with iconic movies and characters as they reassemble Looney Tunes. And then, of course, they have to play this big game for all the world to see in order for him to save Bronny. So my question is, do we yay or nay on the plot? Do we like it or do we not? Yes, no? Anyone?
So I've been saying this from the beginning. I never wanted them to remake Space Jam, and I'm just going to keep that same energy. Like, I just don't like the remake of it. And then it's like, how do they then have the basketball game? Like, how I don't see the basketball game coming into effect here, because the whole thing of the first one was, the Monstars took the talent from all of these NBA stars, and then Michael just to try to get their talent back by playing the Monstars and then saving two. So where's the basketball in this? I'm not seeing where they're like really going to have the basketball game. Are they doing it just to save Bronny's talent? Like, what is? Yeah, I'm confused.
No, I think it's
don't really get it.
I think it's a cartoon version of Taken with basketball, because remember when they took his daughter, they took Liam Neeson's daughter. Yeah. I think it's that, but then instead of killing everybody, they're going to play basketball. That's what it sounds like to me. Let us know.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the plot. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. This next one is kind of cute and kind of hilarious to me, because I'm trying to figure out if it's mom shade or if she's just short, or if it was very important to her to show that she had that glass of wine. But look at this picture from former WNBA player Pamela McGee. We all know that she's JaVale. Now, look, there's something clearly missing in this picture. It's just her and that trophy. That's JaVale McGee. If you guys didn't know, that is her son. You can't tell because his head's been conveniently cut off. But then she posted this as well. I think she just wanted to make sure. But she made sure that she had that champagne and that trophy in there. And then she posted all these of her son. I thought that was hilarious that she actually posted a picture of her son's head just fully cut off and then followed it up with these. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, it's so cute though. But she's quite proud that she said that they had a family outing to present that trophy, so it's quite cute. Now I know we talked about this because I saw some of you guys on the chat, some of you guys on some of our other Fumble stories. You said, isn't it funny that Giannis's brother got a ring before Giannis did, and you said Giannis was going to be super mad. Let me just really quick show y'all how mad Giannis is. He's so upset, y'all. He's so upset.
I love this though.
That is so cute. That is him welcoming his championship brother home.
I legit love this.
This is how you fucking
right?
champion right here. This is how
right.
you champion right here. Champion's back home.
That's so cute.
Y'all are so sweet. Right.
I do not love him. Like
all this
his
shit.
team.
Right.
All this shit.
Face cutouts and everything. That man loves his family.
Champion. Hey, where's the cup? Where's the trophy?
Oh, I love that.
So sweet.
I think those of us.
Remember, oh, sorry, what, Jackie?
Okay. Let's go now for a while. So sweet. What were you saying, Devin?
So, I forget which one it was, but the one of someone on the Lakers. Who was it? I can't remember.
JaVale.
They said, yeah, it was JaVale, and he was like, "Oh, this is the."
Oh yeah.
What did he say about like that him being Giannis not being
the
the
Greek
first?
freak.
Yeah. Like, why can't I get this out? But anyway, and people were commenting on that, being like, "Oh, Thanksgiving's about to be awkward. The holidays are going to be awkward." But Giannis is so supportive and so happy and cheering so hard for his brother. I love that.
Yeah,
Makes me happy.
Obviously he's back-to-back finals MVP, but we didn't hear a speech from him this year, obviously. But last year, I remember his speech. He was so going to each brother, each family member, and like saying something about how, you know, they impacted him and his basketball career and stuff like that. Like he is like one of those guys that for sure is like a family first kind of guy. And then it's so dope to see like the, you know, like, because like, okay, you have, the Bucks were supposed to win it too this year. You know, the Bucks were really good, and you know them getting knocked out early, and then Giannis being MVP, and everyone's like, "Oh, he shouldn't have been MVP because of this situation." And then you would think like any normal person would just have shade towards somebody, another team or whatever, and then that's your brother too on top of it, and to not have like a competitive bone in his body towards his own sibling, and just like all genuine, like true love there, like that is so dope. Because I can't imagine even like Steph and like Seth doing that with each other. Like I really can't, you know, like there's other brothers in the league, and you can't imagine that like love that Giannis has with like his brothers, especially because like Giannis is ranked so high and stuff. And then, you know, his brother's always going to be chasing his coattails as far as like being a great player. But like, he's like, hey, but my brother is a champion. So let's shout him out for that. Like, I think that's so dope.
Yeah, there's no way Steph would gloat. There's no way, or Seth would gloat if he finally got that. It wouldn't be remotely the same. Speaking of Steph, let's talk about his wife for a second. I'm gonna try not to throw some shade, because last time I threw some shade at Ayesha Curry, her brother came for me, and I don't want any parts of that. So, but look real quickly at this picture from Ayesha Curry from 6 days ago. Ah, look how cute she looks, right? And then look at this one from yesterday. Any second. Yeah. So now when I first saw this, my first reaction was, who the hell is that? But because it just popped up on my timeline. So I didn't immediately see that it was her, you know, IG page. And I'm like, ooh, Steph out here tripping. But then when I saw it was on her IG page, and then I clicked on it, I was like, oh, okay. But then there's people in her comments talking about, oh, is Steph cheating? Why would she post a picture of the person he's cheating on her with? But whatever. But this was my thought process. I didn't actually post this, but this is what my thought process was. Like, I was wondering who this white woman was with Steph Curry. That's what I thought. I thought Steph had maybe a white relative, but there's no way I thought that was Ayesha. And then a lot of people thought the same thing. Like, who's this white girl? But then makeup artists to the rescue. All the makeup artists got in there and they said, no, she's using a filter, which obviously, you know, some of the filters you can get make you lighter. She contoured her nose. That's why her nose looks so like she had a nose job or something. And she's wearing a blonde wig. We knew the blonde wig because she put that in the hashtag. She said, hashtag, you know, I'm wearing a blonde wig. Whatever. It was a little too extreme for me. It threw me all the way off. And then what made it worse for me was Steph's response to it. I do not like the way this grown man is talking to a grown woman, but he said, you beautiful baby, and don't you let anybody tell you differently, okay? I mean it. There's just a bunch of meanies out there, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Do you, boo-boo? P.S. If the wig falls off, I won't tell anybody. I promise. Pinky promise. It'd be hilarious, though, but won't anybody know? Wait, that's been you in this bed the whole time? I ain't even know. Now I'm tripping. You really are tripping. Why are you talking to a grown woman like this? I don't like it. Yeah. Is that just me, or am I tripping?
No, that's weird.
Hate that. Hate everything about it. Disgusting.
I made me forget about the whole picture. I was like, why is he talking to her like this? I didn't like it. But yeah, that's just me.
I know. All right. And these filters really do be making you look like a totally different person. It's crazy. Like, and I'm like, I don't even know if these people really, like, who knows what these people, like these IG models really look like. Because these filters for videos, for pictures, like everything, you just look like a totally different person. It's crazy. Woo!
Yeah, if my brother ever needs me to vouch for him, I got it. That Snapchat thing makes me look exactly like my brother, and I will just fill in for him somewhere. Like, yep, I'm here. Like a guy. Yeah, like a man. Yeah, I look exactly like my brother, and I'll just be like, "How y'all doing?" And they won't buy it once I start talking, but I'm gonna try it.
You can be his alibi. You can be doing videos like you're at some event or whatever, and you just post it as he's going live like that. and then he could
Yep.
be doing some whole thing on the other side.
Whatever else he needs to do. All right, you guys, this one's hilarious to me because if you're a Jets fan, I'm sorry. That's number one. Number two, I don't know that many Jets fans, but there was this incident long ago that we all thought was hilarious. You guys probably, I know Britt probably remembers it, but it's when there was the butt fumble. When Mark Sanchez ran into the butt. Mark Sanchez ran into the butt of his own player and fumbled the ball. But this guy is making up for it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a butt reception. That is a butt catch. The Jets have been redeemed. No longer will we talk about the butt fumble. We got a full-on butt catch. They lost 24-0, but they got this butt catch out of it. So congratulations on a different butt topic for the Jets, because y'all team is booty, so it's so fitting.
This was a positive butt move for them.
It's a positive booty move. Yay! Congratulations to the Jets. Britt talked about it earlier that she's super excited that the Dodgers won. We are also excited for her, but I just have to tell you, Britt, make sure when you celebrate wisely, because I don't think Devin and I know how to pop a shoulder back in. So don't be like your boy Cody, who celebrated a little too rough. Take a look at this. Oh, Britt, there it is. Here it comes. Yay, my guy. Woo-hoo.
Oh.
Do you see it?
Code.
And then he keeps going, though. That's the funny thing. He's like, oh.
And then he's like, okay, actually, I think I hurt myself.
Yeah. And he's like, my shoulder's out.
Cody, we need
shoulder
you.
out.
We actually need
Shoulder
you for
out.
the World Series.
At least now we've learned the universal sign of shoulder out. Now we all know. That's what you say when your shoulder is out. All right, so Chris is out, but I think we got through it okay. We'll be glad when he's back tomorrow, but that is Post Up with your girl Jackie Ray. That's all I got. Britt, how do you feel when you saw that shoulder? How'd you feel when you saw that shoulder pop out? I'm assuming you saw it live.
Can we not, please? I have literally seen my own self gone to 2 World Series in the last, 4 years with my Dodgers, and they've lost both of them. So let's not lose 3 World Series this year. And Cody's one of our best players. Like, could we make sure you're safe and okay to play? Let's cheer after. Let's cheer after in the World Series.
Fist
4
bump.
more games. 4 more games.
Right. Oh my goodness.
But I love that he was trying to make sure he wasn't doing the handshake because of COVID. I love that it wasn't the handshake, but let's not do more shoulder bumps either.
Fist bump.
And clearly those are very dangerous.
Because the fist is to break your knuckles. Just do a little booty bump.
Someone's gonna pop a hip out if they do that too hard, though.
Oh,
so
absolutely right, though. That's the sad thing.
Don't touch each other. Just spirit fingers. Okay, spirit fingers. Can we just do some spirit fingers?
That'll work. Yes. Jazz hand.
Love a good spirit finger. Before we get into what we're not going to do, I want to just go back to this Aisha thing really quickly, because when I got the video, the picture last night sent to me from our producer, I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, Steph's cheating. Because I also didn't think it was Aisha at first. The filter, the hair, it really changed everything about her. But I think it's funny. And I think that
Aisha.
Right? I know.
Closer to you.
I know. She
might not Steph and Devin are hanging out.
Right?
I'm not going to confirm. I'm not going to deny, but
you got that IG thing down, girl. Go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. But
cover, she got it down. She knows what to say.
Right.
But I do want to talk about how back in, I think it was 2015, and we've addressed this so many times. This is why Aisha's brother got so mad at you, Jackie, that time. But she did post those tweets about, being not liking when women dress scantily on Instagram and post pictures, and she keeps it for her man. And now again, we're just seeing her transform more and more into this Instagram girly, and I don't care about it. She can wear whatever she wants, but it's just funny, and I think it's worth a quick little discussion before we get into what we not gonna do. Do you guys think that this whole filter, the blonde wig and everything is just another phase of her transformation into the IG model type of girl she hated on a couple years ago?
Well, Aisha to me definitely has. Oh, go ahead.
Go.
I feel like she definitely has some self-esteem issues because, first of all, why else would you say that? You know what I mean? Because that was just one of those out of nowhere things. And I've been following Aisha for a very long time, since before she even had like her little cooking thing. And I'm not going to say she has, but there are different things in her that it does look like she's had some work done. I am not anti-work. I feel like if you need to feel better about yourself, do whatever you need to do. But it does look like she's had some work done. People are saying, oh no, she just lost weight. Yeah, some of the things don't trim up like that just from losing weight. So if that's what she needed to do to feel better, that's fine. But at the same time, I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I still think you come out and you say, hey, I know I before, and now I'm doing this. Clearly there's some things where I'm sorry for saying that. I understand why you guys were doing that. It makes you feel good. I feel great doing these things. And I'm sorry if I kind of downed you guys for doing what made you feel good. You say that and you move on. You don't just throw it out there all willy-nilly and expect people to forget that you shaded half of us not too long ago. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, like, you guys need to forget it. That was years ago. Let her live. But I do agree. I think it was offensive to a lot of women. And I think that it would be smart for her to address it and be like, I understand why you guys wanted to show off your bodies. Now I want to too. Britt, do you have anything you want to add?
No, that was the same thing I was going to say. She was so at a place where she was uncomfortable with her body. I think she had just had her second kid at the time. And she was very uncomfortable with who, you know, she was or how her body maybe had transformed and stuff. And she used that to then bash other people to make herself feel better about herself. And it went, it was viral. It went, everybody was talking about it. You put down a lot of people and made a lot of women feel like we're not good enough because we're not married to Steph Curry and we don't, or we want to dress how we want to dress and all of this kind of stuff. And that's like the complete opposite of what we should be doing. We should be uplifting each other always. So yeah, like, to Jackie's point, I'm like, great, that's great. You feel better about yourself now and you want to get your sexy on and you're like this hot mom and all that kind of stuff. But I do think you need to mention you were wrong then and just acknowledge it just because it was something that went so big and so many people talked about that you need to address it. Like if it was like some tweet years ago before you were even famous and nobody knew who you, whatever, but like this was something that happened when you were already famous. People's eyes were on you. They were watching you. It affected people in that moment. And then to now come 3-4 years later and like you are this totally different person and you're not acknowledging that like you're literally you've become all the people you were talking negatively about. But then you don't want to like connect the two still. Like you want to bust now, Aisha.
Right.
Yeah. No, this is a panel of IG girlies. I saw the selfie Jackie posted this morning. She looked good.
Hey. Anytime I change my hairstyle, I have to post a pic.
Britt, you posted something this morning. I haven't seen it yet, but that's why I just called out Jackie. I didn't post anything today. Anyway.
I don't think I posted anything in like a week. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, Jackie, can you tell us what we not going to do?
Yes. All right. Look, so this one is one of the things that this is a conversation that's worth having. I don't necessarily always like the way this specific conversation goes. And of course, it came up again this weekend. If you spent any time on social media, you definitely saw it. So I'm just going to post this tweet that I saw retweeted, had to be a good 100 times. And it's with, of course, Sue Bird and LeBron James, and it's comparing their salaries. And if you can see, it says, you know, both of them have been in the league for 17 years. Both of them have won 4 NBA championships. Sue Bird's 2020 salary is $215,000. LeBron James is $37.44 million. Of course, that's insane. A lot of people though, so I kind of, when I saw this tweet, my whole thing was like, all right, let me do a little experiment. So I have a bunch of girlfriends that don't really watch sports. I asked them if they knew LeBron James. Not only did they know who he was, they knew the 3 teams he played for. One girl didn't know that he just won a championship, but like I said, she doesn't really watch sports. She had no idea who Sue Bird was, but she knew exactly who Megan Rapinoe was. But I think we all can kind of attest that Megan and, the national soccer team, they have like a lot of stardom, a lot of fan base. So this conversation is one of those conversations that we've talked about on this show a lot. And before we just kind of say, yes, people are saying this is a gender disparity, the wage gap between men and women. Yes, that is a real conversation that needs to be had, but you need to have it in the proper context, because in the 2018 regular season, viewership across ESPN, ABC, it did increase over 35% from the 2017 season, which was 231,000. And then in this season, it earned 246,000 or last season. But then in the 2020 regular season, that dropped again back to 205,000. But again, their viewership went up in the finals, which I think is great. But then you got to compare that number, because we're talking about hundreds of thousands, to the NBA. Have a million viewers throughout the regular season. So that's 1 million more views and 1 million more people who you can get advertising dollars for. It makes more sense when you're an advertiser that you're going to put more of an investment in the NBA, because more people are going to watch it. It's not just the NBA we need to talk about, though, because the NCAA Women's Final Four had 4.8 million viewers. The WNBA playoffs only had 440,000. So there's definitely, because now we're talking 2 women's sports. So now we're comparing apples to apples. So there's definitely some sort of disconnect there if the NCAA is getting, more viewership as well. So the WNBA, there's other things too. The WNBA only has 12 teams. Of course, we know that the NBA has 30 teams. But there's $60 million is what the WNBA made in 2019 compared to, I think it was something ridiculous, like it was billions of dollars. I think it was $1.8 billion that the NBA made. Now that's 60 million for the WNBA. That needs to be divided amongst 137 players. 137 players. That doesn't include coaching staff, training staff, and of course the owners need to get their money too. So when you really kind of start thinking about that number like that, Sue Bird's salary is actually kind of on the higher end. So it's not just a gender disparity. That's not it at all. This specific picture is not comparing apples to apples, because it's not the same thing. So the WNBA, which is something that I've said for a long time, needs to really look at how they can increase their viewership. I know Britt had said before, like, what if some of these guys in the NBA donated a portion of their salary to the WNBA? That's fine if they wanted to do that. I'm all for that. But I think in a capitalistic society, none of us are really working just so we could donate our money to, the WNBA. Donating and charities often struggle to get regular money from regular people. So I don't think that that's something we can look forward to. The NBA also does already support the WNBA. So now we have to have a real conversation. What is wrong with the WNBA? How come it's not getting the viewership of even NCAA Women's Final Four? Why isn't that a thing? So I think that's a question that we have to ask. I don't really know. I know we've talked about several times, like, okay, what if we lowered the rim a little bit so now we can see some of the more of the intensity and the dunks and things like that? None of the women in the WNBA want that. I probably would lose respect for them if they did, because that's not a thing. Do they need more teams? So now we can get up to 30 teams, and now we can start having teams in smaller markets to build that up. But it's not just a men thing. This is a WNBA issue. So I just kind of want to open it up to, Devin and Britt, since we're all females today, we can talk about this openly. Because when we talk about, there are some sports, gymnastics and women's volleyball, they beat out their male counterparts drastically. There's another whole conversation around that one, though. But there is a way. There's got to be a way that we can get more viewership to the WNBA. I don't think we're going to solve that here on the Fumble, but do we have any ideas?
Yes,
Devin, I'll start with you.
It's local
or Britt.
TV.
Right. Okay.
It's local TV. It's because and if you look at what you were talking about with the NCAA tournament and stuff like that, all of those big games, like the Connecticut game, like the UConn games and stuff like that, all of those games are going to be shown on ABC. They're going to be shown on ESPN1. They're going to be shown on TNT. They're going to be shown on Fox. That is why the WNBA does not have viewership like that, because they're shown on either ESPN2, ESPN3 sometimes. They're not televised sometimes. And really just bringing in the dollars of that is, we learned this year alone, is why the NBA is in business anyway, because they were able to still have a pretty decent season and cut out having fans in the stands at all. So it's not people coming to the games. It's not whatever. It's that TV money, and the TV money needs to be trickled to those big time spots like the ABCs, like the Foxes, not ESPN2 and ESPN3 for these WNBA games, because as you clearly showed, we still want to watch women's basketball because we're watching NCAA basketball. So all of these women are then transitioning into the WNBA. Why do we not see them anymore? Well, half the time we don't got the channel that has their games on it. Luckily, during the bubble, they moved them up a little bit. We got to see a little more games. Guess what? The WNBA was the only one that had numbers increase during this time, because they moved the games to some primetime games. Like, I literally think that solves a problem 100%, is we don't have access to watch WNBA. That's why people don't watch it.
Devin, what do you think? I love that. What do you think, Devin?
Yeah, I think what Britt said is awesome and so accurate. I also think that there could be like larger marketing campaigns surrounding some of the prominent players in the WNBA, just so there's more eyes and more attention on them. I know that there have been, but just for them to get the same sort of like recognition in brand deals and the same prominence in brand deals, I think could be helpful. But I don't really have like a strong solution. I think Britt's idea is great, but I do think that the WNBA needs more eyes on it and more attention on it. And I think that there needs to be a restructuring of the conversation around basketball, because I think when a lot of people think about pro basketball, they think about men just because the NBA is so popular. So just needs to be kind of like this change in how we look at the people who play professional basketball and who are really good at it. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I like what Kevin.
The NBA hasn't even been here for 30 years yet. It's still young and new. If you look at the first 30 years of the NBA, they weren't making this kind of money either. You know, like we talked about stuff about, you know, Michael Jordan, $100,000 a season for a couple years, and like all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to need to grow, and it's going to grow when we get big stars, like when Michael Jordan came to the NBA and kind of revamped the NBA again, because it stopped being like a team thing and it started being about this individual player and everyone had to follow him. If like to Devin's point, if the WNBA starts getting like and focusing on certain stars, and like they tried to do it a little bit with Candace Parker, I think was probably the first one they really tried to like shine out there. But if they start focusing more on these younger stars that have social media followings and stuff already, it's really going to like catapult the WNBA level, which we've already just seen alone this year.
Right. Yeah, Kevin Pryor mentioned that in the chat, and like we saw that on The Last Dance. One of the reasons why the NBA pushed Michael Jordan so hard is because their ratings were failing. As a whole, across the league, their ratings were failing. I think there was an arena football team that was getting more views at the time than a lot of these basketball teams out here. So we have a Sabrina in the league now. We do have a Sue Bird in the league now. You could literally push them out there. You can get them on a reality show. You can get them, you know, and there's so many outlets you can push them out there to get more eyes on them. But I love the local TV idea. And I think that, you know, you guys are both right. Push it towards social media. But there definitely has to be a change within, because just like the NBA had to adapt and make changes so they could catapult to the next level, the WNBA has to take some responsibility for where they are at, and they have to put things in place to get to the next level as well. So good conversation. I'm glad we had Ladies Day to talk about this. Devin, get your beatboxing skills ready, because it is time for Britt's Takes.
Britt's Takes.
Yes.
Yes. So today I am going to be talking about sportsmanship and the fact that one guy in particular has continuously failed at it, and that is Tom Brady. So I talked about it last week about Tom Brady when they were playing the Bears, and I said it before the game even happened. I was like, watch, if the Bears end up winning, because he's going against Nick Foles again, who played against him in the Super Bowl a couple years ago when he was with the Eagles and Tom Brady was with the Patriots, and what happened after that game. Tom Brady did not shake Nick Foles' hand. Well, then fast forward to this time, week 5, so a week and a half ago, these two guys met up again, and I said already before the game, I was like, if Nick Foles wins, they're both with two different teams now. It was the Bears and the Bucks. If Nick Foles wins, Tom Brady's not going to go shake his hand again. And that same thing happened again. Leo, play video 2, the second one I sent you, not the first one, because I want to show you guys what happened 2 weeks ago first. So this is him, poor Nick Foles, looking around. He was looking around for Tom Brady as Tom Brady is running off the field. So he's like, where's Tom Brady? He was sitting there waiting to shake Tom Brady's hand. And as you can see the score, the Bears had won that game 20-19. Tom Brady is the sprinting, first one off the field. You can't even see the time on the game clock hadn't even ended yet. And he's standing there, cameras around, because what happens after every game? The two quarterbacks go up and they're supposed to shake hands. They talk, all the cameras around. And poor Nick Foles is sitting here being so disrespected by Tom Brady yet again. This happened in the Super Bowl, and then this happened again in week 5 of the NFL season. So here comes all the fans, the Tom Brady fans saying, well, you guys, we're in a pandemic now, so Tom Brady's just following protocol and you're not supposed to shake hands after the game and this, that, and the third. I didn't believe that. I thought that was BS, and I am proven right because week 6 just happened and Tom Brady played against Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady won, and he sprinted over there to go talk to Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's talking, not just a quick high five. They don't got masks on. They're just yapping it up, talking, hugged each other even. And this is literally a week later. So no, Tom Brady wasn't doing it because of some pandemic we're in, and he was just following rules. He is a poor sportsman guy. Like, he is a sore loser. He is like, and the worst, and especially with, I don't know why, because I think Nick Foles is like basically his kryptonite. He cannot beat Nick Foles, and Nick Foles is, mind you, Nick Foles was not the starting quarterback for the Bears prior to week 3, week 4. Mitch Trubisky was. At the time for the Super Bowl even, Nick Foles was not the starting quarterback for the Eagles that season. It was Carson Wentz, but Carson Wentz got hurt, and then Nick Foles stepped in during the playoffs and then still ended up beating Tom Brady. So I don't know what issue Tom Brady has with Nick Foles, but really it's something that, like, I especially last week, I felt so bad because I think Nick Foles is like, oh my gosh, like, this is like, I look up to him. I'm so – wow, I can't believe I beat Tom Brady. You know, I think he thinks like that. And then to have Tom Brady just disrespect him in these moments is so sad, and it's so sick. And, like, I'm so tired of it. Tom Brady is probably like, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to say he's the Kevin Durant of the NFL, but he's worse than that. Like, he's like this guy that, like, we all know, undisputed, like, he's won all these rings. He is great. We know he is the best quarterback we will ever see that will ever play the game of football. Yet so many people don't like him, and it's because of this stuff right here. Now, I am not petty anymore, but I still have petty ideas that I would like to share with other NFL quarterbacks. So I would like all NFL quarterbacks to come together, stand on Nick Foles' side, and decide to not shake Tom Brady's hand for the rest of the season. Because if Tom Brady can't shake somebody's hand when he loses, he sure doesn't need to, or he doesn't deserve to shake your hand when he won and you lose. So NFL quarterbacks, don't shake this man's hand all season. Like, he doesn't deserve it. He can't shake your hand when he loses, so he shouldn't be able to go up there and gloat in front of you when he wins. I think it's terrible. Jackie, really quick, what were your thoughts on this? Seeing like what happened last week and Nick Foles and how he was forever looking around for Tom Brady and he darts out, but then seeing him sprint out to go shake Aaron Rodgers' hand when Aaron Rodgers lost the game and Tom Brady wins in this situation.
First of all, I didn't see Nick Foles looking for him like that, and that literally hurt my feelings. Like, You know what I mean?
broke my
Because I felt like that if I had the opportunity and I thought I was going to get to shake LeBron's hand and he just walked away from me, I would be devastated. Like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Right? So, but I didn't see that until literally just now. But last night when I was watching that game, I felt like I sounded like my mom because I saw Tom Brady sprinting and I was like, you better not. You better not. You better not. You know, like, you better not go over there and shake this man's hand because, you know, the whole conversation going into that game was the battle of the goats, You know, everyone compared their age and things of that nature. So you felt that you won that battle of the goats and now you can go out and gloat. That's all that was. That wasn't a sportsmanlike handshake. That was a gloating handshake. But when this guy that you don't think is at your level beat you, that's when you go over and you say, hey, good game. You encourage him. You let him know that you respect him as an athlete, as a person. You don't sprint off the field like a little punk. I had to catch myself. But you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't stand Tom Brady. I cannot. That just made it worse.
Even more. Devin, to my little petty situation that I had, do you think that the quarterbacks should come together and teach Tom Brady a lesson, not shake his hand? Because he's only shaking hands when he's winning, not shaking him when they're losing.
Yes, I do think that would be a good idea for all the quarterbacks to come together and not shake Tom Brady's hand. But I also feel like the first like one or two to do that are going to get so much negative press that they might decide it's not worth it. But I think that Tom is definitely being a sore loser. It's embarrassing for him to act like that. And I don't know, you'd think that after this many years in the league, he'd be able to accept the times that they weren't able to actually secure a win. So I don't know. I think it's pathetic, and I do think it would be a good idea for everybody to be like, we're not shaking your hand.
Robert in the comments said, I'm petty adjacent now. I'm not.
I like that.
You are.
Shirt has just been born. Petty adjacent. I love it.
I'm working on it. I'm not completely delivered, I guess. I am petty adjacent. I will take that. I'm across the street from petty. Okay, I'm here still. But I just think I can't stand how Tom Brady does this, and because he is like a quote unquote GOAT, you know, the moments like when people do beat him, they really are like, oh wow, I can't believe I beat Tom Brady, and they're like feeling this excitement of like doing that and like he's the GOAT and I like was able to beat him, and then for him not to like give a pat on the back or whatever. This was like Detroit Pistons all over again, and it was just a six to see.
Mm-hmm. You know, I do think though, I know Devin, you said that you thought it would be bad press if these guys did it. I totally disagree with that. I feel like we live in a time where guys are trading jerseys at the end of the game. You know what I mean? That wasn't a thing for a long time because we are not friends until the off season. And then in the off season, it's still a maybe. You know what I mean? So this whole camaraderie that we're seeing now is a brand new thing. So I think if that's the thing that they are doing, then it's not bad press. And matter of fact, say, this is why I didn't shake his hand, because the NFL is about respecting each other and Tom Brady doesn't respect people. So we have, as a collective, decided we're not going to shake his hand and let him sit in the corner and cry like he's going to do and let us laugh about it because we petty adjacent. So, yeah, I'm all for that.
No, okay. There is an explanation. Oh, what was that?
Thanks, Robert, for coming up with a new term.
Oh, right. A good new term. Thank you, Robert, for that. But Jackie, just to respond to what you said, I think that if there is an explanation about it, then yes, maybe there won't be as much negative attention. But think about all the Tom Brady stands out there. Like, they are going to overtake social media and the headlines and everything. So I think that it maybe will be more 50-50 than I was initially anticipating. But regardless, Tom Brady needs to get his act together because this is ridiculous. But you guys, it's noon. It's right on time. Let's wrap up the show. We're going to be back again at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. We hope you loved having the thick ladies of the Fumble here, taking you through all of the latest sports news. Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up. We will see you guys at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Wash your hands, wear a mask, don't be a sore loser. We'll see you guys later.
Right. Be better than Tom Brady. Be better.
Be better.